For approximately 12 years, I've been making video poems, alternatively known as poetry films. I've been screening them in festivals. I've sometimes won prizes. It's an interesting scene. I've gotten to know many very interesting artists, many poets who also know how to make videos, who have that technical ability. Now, over that period of time, I've noticed that there is no work being done, as far as I know, and this might be partly because of a lack of institutional support. There are no festivals for this kind of work. There are no video stories, no video short stories. There is a subgenre of indie filmmaking called a short story movie. But what it really means is what one typically finds in a movie. In other words, there's a team. There's a director, there's a scriptwriter, there's a team of actors, and they make a dramatic movie. And because it's short, because it has a running time of, say, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it's called a short story. What I'm thinking about is something different that's more along the lines of a video poem, which sometimes is done by a team, but sometimes is done by just the poet, him or herself, or else by a pair, a creative pair, for example, poet-director plus musician. I've often wondered why there aren't video stories that are done that way, by either a very small team or by one person individually. Now, the answer, of course, is that there's a limited tolerance among audiences for readings, for even sort of what you might call illustrated readings. A short story writer, in other words, reading a text that he or she has written and then illustrating that text visually with shots of, for example, buildings or the countryside or whatever. What's lacking from videos that are short stories that are made by one person are actors. However, interestingly, AI helps solve some of those problems. What I do personally, because I began as a visual artist and an illustrator, is I try to take my drawings as much as possible, these old drawings that I did, transform them into sort of cinematic images, which AI will do, and then use these as characters within short stories that are not typical indie films, but are more in the spirit of and along the lines of a video poem.